Nipsey Hussle's finals hours alive. Now I know he was working on Dr. Sebi documentary or something like that, and a lot of other things too. He had his clothing line running. His music finally started to pop off, and sadly, this happened. We ain't gonna talk too much. Shout out to Hip Hop Daily. And without further ado, we're gonna get straight into the video.
I need an ambulance.
Mr. Hussle, Department of Business.
Is this a big?
I got it.
Yes, ASAP ambulance. We need ambulance.
I have your phone number.
ASAP.
I have your phone number.
Yes, yes,
What's the emergency?
yes. Who did this?
What's the emergency?
Oh my God.
What is the emergency?
Thousands of fans of Grammy-nominated rapper and community activist Nipsey Hussle are in a state of shock today. They are mourning.
Minutes ago, Eric Holder was taken from the Lakewood Sheriff's Station to downtown L.A. 3 undercover cars with tinted windows and sirens blaring pulled out of the substation and sped off. It is now confirmed that the 29-year-old is in custody.
March 31st, 2019, Nipsey Hussle went to the Marathon Continue store, located at a mall at the intersection of Slauson and Crenshaw. Early transcript reports state he was there just a little after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But on the official day of his trial after his murder, the exact time was listed at 2:50 p.m. He got out of his black parked car, no security, a humble celebrity, greeting people in the parking lot, signing autographs, and taking pictures with fans. Nipsey Hussle was a well-known Rolling 60 Crip member, but respected even by those in rival gangs. He ended up staying in the parking lot talking to friends. The timer was set. Approximately a little over 30 minutes from that time, Nipsey Hussle would be dead. At the same time, a man known as Eric Holder was on a collision course with Nipsey Hussle that would result in the prolific rapper losing his life. He was a failed rapper known to the industry as Fly Mac, and to the streets, he went by Shitty Cuz. BG Knockout, a man the streets would classify as an OG, told the origins of the relationship between Eric Holder and Nipsey Hussle.
He was actually on Nipsey's label.
Holder was a part of the Rolling 60s like Nipsey, and was signed to Hussle's label back in the day before snitching allegations got him kicked out of the gang, tatted all over his body. While Nipsey Hussle was at his store, Eric Holder was with the female companion he had relations with. She was 35-year-old Brianita Nicholson. She would soon learn that the man she allowed to get close to her was criminally intent on ending the life of the rapper Nipsey Hussle. Holder and Brianita went out on what she thought was a drive to the restaurant to get something to eat. Ironically, the location he chose was the mall at Slauson Avenue and Crenshaw Boulevard, the same where Nipsey's store was located. On him, he had his trusty black semi-automatic handgun, which he claimed he carried for protection. She wasn't yet aware of this fact at the time. As they pulled up to the mall, Nipsey's lifespan was unknowingly on the decline. Cameras caught her vehicle, a 2016 white Chevrolet Cruze, pulling into the parking lot beside Nipsey and his 2 homies, Herman Douglas, also known as Cowboy, and Evan McKenzie, also known as Rimpaw.
Do you consider that snitching? They say he gonna get on the stand and let it be known what happened in the whole situation.
When the car pulled up and they hit that corner, and when Nip asked Rimpaw, is that shitty?
Brianita made it known to Eric Holder that Nipsey Hussle was in the parking lot. "Hey, that's Nipsey Hussle," she said with excitement on her face. Later, she would testify on the stand with a more detailed description of her expressions. It could very well be she added more fuel to the fire because while with Holder, she mentioned to him, the man that had intimate relations with her, that Nipsey was fine. To her, she was just being a fan of the rapper, not knowing that Holder had bad blood with Nipsey. Holder almost just ignored the mention of Nipsey, which should have been the first
Nah,
time.
I ain't gonna lie. Besides the situation, to me, I'm gonna say you glazing. Like, but if we not on that type of level, just like, alright, whatever.
As to the horrific events that was in play. Holder went about his business as normal, or so it appeared. He got out of the car, no shirt on, and went into a food place called Master Burger. But once he placed the order for his food, his attention switched right to Nipsey. At this point, Nipsey was still in the
Yeah,
parking.
cause it showed They showed a little thing, a little clip of him eating his food. He put it on the car and then walked straight through the alley or whatever.
Talking to two of his friends when Holder approached.
He started shaking everyone's hand, including Nipsey.
The conversation lasted several minutes before Brianita failed to assess the situation, instead coming to Nipsey for a picture. That's when her instincts should have kicked in. Brianita then claimed to barely have heard the conversation of snitching coming up, with Nipsey almost just brushing Holder off like a friend you no longer had ties with. At that point, Nipsey's life was growing closer to being taken. Brianita explained that right then, she noticed something different. Nipsey's demeanor was cool, chill, but Holder, his emotions began to spike as he got a bit agitated. Cowboy, one of Nipsey's close friends, right there with him, expanded on the conversation. He stated that Nipsey was telling Holder there's word on the streets that paperwork on him is floating around. In the gang culture, snitching is not tolerated. You lose all credibility and worst case, you can lose your life. Maybe due to past affiliations, Nipsey tried to give him an out instead of dealing with him by the street code. According to Cowboy, Nipsey calmly said, "I haven't seen the paperwork. You need to take care of that." Another witness gave an even more heartbreaking account of his statement. It was if Nipsey still had love for someone he once called his brother and just wanted him to get himself straight with the rumors floating around. Later in an interview, Cowboy also recounted the sentiments of the witness. Nipsey held no malice in his heart. Nipsey Hussle was composed, not trying to give Holder any more time than he already had taken up. He turned from the conversation toward Brianita, who he saw as a fan, and asked if she wanted a picture. Of course, she agreed. That was the last picture Nipsey would ever take. Moments later, Holder went back into Master Burger to collect his meal. He returned to the car and told Brianita to circle around back, brandishing his weapon. After questioning his motives, Holder laughed it off and directed her to pull up at a spot to the back where he could eat his meal. She complied, but soon after he put aside his meal and made his way out of the vehicle. Little did she know, Holder was on a mission to end Nipsey's life. He made his way through the mall, right to where Nipsey and others were talking, and opened fire with two guns, a .40 caliber semi-automatic handgun and a revolver. From those guns, he shot Nipsey approximately 10 times.
Damn.
A brazen and violent act. Surveillance
I thought
cameras
they
in
only said it
surrounding
was like
businesses
6 or 5.
show Holder not shooting Nipsey on one occasion, not 2 occasions, but 3 times as he leaves and doubles back to finish the job and kicking Nipsey in the skull before running back through the alley. Holder is heard telling Nipsey, "You're through," before carrying out the act. Nipsey reportedly said the last words to Holder, "You got me." At approximately 3:20 p.m., Nipsey was on the ground fighting for his life with 2 others that were less injured in the attack.
I ran over to Nip. Nipsey fought the whole way. He be breathing the whole time, had a pulse, in and out of consciousness, but he fought hard.
Paramedics arrived on the scene to a bleeding Nipsey on the floor, unconscious. Only a couple minutes left before Nipsey Hussle would be gone. Paramedics tried to resuscitate the wounded rapper, continuing their efforts as the ambulance stretchered him to the ER. Unfortunately, Nipsey would succumb to his injuries upon arrival at the hospital between 3:20 p.m. when he was shot and 4 p.m. Nipsey was hit in his head, chest, abdomen, and foot, with bullets said to have severed his spine and punctured his lungs.
Damn.
The world was in mourning, sharing their sadness in order to cope. While medics picked up the others that were shot, Holder was making his escape. Holder made his way through.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really know too much about him, but I do remember where he went viral for I think slapping a bodyguard or something like that.
Alleyways where different surveillance cameras caught him carrying both murder weapons right back to the car where Brianita was parked. Frantic, she asked what was going on, not knowing Holder just targeted Nipsey Hussle. Holder, in rage, told her she'd receive a slap if she didn't drive. That night, Brianita allowed Holder to stay at the house of her and her mother before booking him a motel the following day. At this time, claiming to not connect Holder to Nipsey Hussle's incident. But word spread through the streets, and now not only his life was in danger, but everyone around him. His family was rumored to be targeted, and his brother crumbled under the pressure. taking his own life.
Most of them, I think his little brother
Damn.
killed himself.
The LAPD was quick to put out information on Holder's arrest, and his luck would run out. On April 2nd, after the bulletin was posted, officers were tipped off about the possible whereabouts of Holder. On.
That's definitely a fact. Shout out to Dose of Mystery. Um, I just want to say, like basically, most of all, like shout out my condolences to his family. I heard they fighting over his estate, and in my eyes, he was on his way to greatness, and I feel like he would have definitely, been somewhere way bigger now. And that's probably not what they wanted anyways, but he still remembered. Appreciate y'all for all the love and support. Love is love, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video.